Well, we're talking about the personality types, and in a second, we're going to get to the O's. If you're an O, you're going to love hearing about this, and chances are you have at least one O in your family. Our family, we have all 4 personality types, but one of my sons is an O, and they're not just a dominant O, they're a 40, which is all 4s, and in all 10 columns, or 10 lines. I've only known one other person that might be a 40 O. O stands for otter. An otter is a party waiting to happen. If it's not fun, they don't want to do it. Or if it's not fun and they do it, then they're going to make it fun. They're going to come up with ways to make it fun. And otters, man, they are the life of the party. Even if, and if they're not, they think they are, and they're going to be. They're not afraid to talk. They are usually pretty charismatic. They're outgoing. They're quick to initiate, and we'll look at some of the traits specifically. But otters are fun people, and they tend to be visionaries. A lion has visions and is a visionary, and you'll see in one of our strategies called vision mapping that gaining a vision is really critical. A lion and an otter get it automatically. They don't have to work to come up with a vision. In fact, they have more visions than any one person can possibly fulfill, which is one reason they have to partner and prioritize. But let's look at the otters. I'll just read you from a workbook that I did. Otters are excitable, fun-seeking, cheerleading type who love to talk. They are great at motivating others and need to be in an environment that they can have a vote on major decisions. They're great networkers. They know people who know people who know people. Otters are great at networking. They have a strong desire to be liked, and they enjoy being the center of attention. Now, they're not necessarily show-offs, but man, they want to have fun. And when my son is on the dance floor with his wife, I can tell you know he's having fun. It's obvious to everybody else on the dance floor. They are often very attentive to style, clothes, and there you go. Men who are otters are into their cars, and typically they're into their houses. All those things mean a lot to an otter. But let's talk about the natural strengths. Now, remember, all of us are all 4 personality types rolled into one. It's just we have a dominant and a subdominant. So you probably have some otter in you. You definitely have some otter. Don't know if it's higher or not. But for those of you who otter is the dominant type, this is what we know about you. And let me just say, the higher your score, the more you're going to identify with the description of each of these. Okay, natural strengths. They're enthusiastic. They have a natural enthusiasm that is really infectious. You can go into a boring situation with an otter, and before you know it, you're enthusiastic about it and you're excited. It's truly infectious. Good communicators. Otters are really good communicators. You like hearing what they have to say because they say it in a fun way. They are emotional and passionate. And having watched my son from the time he was born, when I would hurt his feelings, he would get emotional. And if I didn't see something or really wanted something, they tend to run deep on the emotional side, both men and women. They're passionate. They're motivational and inspirational. They're kind of a spark. It's easy for them to naturally motivate others to do what they think is important to doing. They're outgoing, they're personal, dramatic, and fun-loving. Okay, basic disposition. They are fast-paced and people-oriented. They're more people-oriented than the lion, by far. They're motivated by recognition and approval of others. Ryan was always very competitive. He's my big otter. And he was a national champion in high jump. But when he would take something on, one time at a camp, he broke an ankle. And so he had to hobble around on crutches. But guess what he did? He learned ping pong. He was 15 and I taught him ping pong. And unfortunately, within about 2 weeks, he could beat me. And I'd played ping pong all my life. But he got really good, really fast. While he was on crutches, he could go downstairs on crutches faster than most people can go downstairs and upstairs. I mean, why? Because it's a game, it's competitive. And anyway, they are outgoing, personal, dramatic, fun-loving. So I've been through those. So what are the natural weaknesses of an otter? Because we all have natural weaknesses. And why do we want to know weaknesses again? So we can strengthen those weaknesses and we can learn how to strengthen them. And 2, we can partner with people who have strengths where we're weak. So here are their natural weaknesses. 1, they can be unrealistic. They can get a vision that is so far out there that they're quickly unrealistic, and they couldn't do it. In fact, they couldn't have 10 people that could accomplish that. That can be one of their weaknesses. They're not detail-oriented. In fact, they kind of typically hate a lot of detail, but so do lions, by the way. Lions aren't detail-oriented. They can be disorganized. If they're organized, it's because they're choosing by an act of their will to get organized, but it's not their nature. They're impulsive, just like the lion. They want to get it done now. An otter, you invite them to a Super Bowl party, and they're all excited. Yeah, I'll come. What do you want me to bring? Then they don't show up. Why? Because they found out somebody else that's more fun and going to have other people there that they're more attracted to. They'll go to their Super Bowl party. So you never know for sure if they're going to show up, because if you're not fun, you're a drag to them. They do listen to feelings more than logic. That's their natural inclination. Now once again, we can all choose to learn logic, but they're more feeling oriented. They can be reactive. Of course, lions are reactive too. They can be too talkative. That's just in their nature. One of my best friends in life is probably, he might be a 40 otter. And whenever we're around him, I mean, there is chatter going on. And they're excitable. But that's part of the fun. But excitable can become so overwhelming to people that aren't excited that it can become irritating. But at the same time, it can also become infectious and motivating. Okay, basic disposition is they are fast-paced and people-oriented compared to the lion, who's project-oriented. They're motivated by recognition and the approval of others, just like the lion. Otters focus on the future and have a tendency to run to the next exciting thing. Remember, lions are focused on the now. Let's get it done. Let's stay focused. Otters can be out the door pretty quick because they're thinking about what's the next fun thing to do, and they are focused on the future more than the present. Communication style, enthusiastic and stimulating, and often one way, but they can inspire and motivate others. Decision making, intuitive and fast. They're very quick to make a decision, and they've got typically a pretty good intuition. Why do you think that is? Well, because they have a vision. They're quick to gain a vision. And once you have a vision, your intuition gets fired up. You have become intuitive on what's going to make that vision work. And because they're really quick to gain a vision and driven by vision, It's only natural that they're intuitive. They make a lot of right decisions and they make a lot of wrong ones, okay? But they're really decision-oriented. So versus being slow and taking a lot of time to make a single decision. In pressure situations, they become aggressive. They can attack. They can become more concerned about their popularity than achieving tangible results. And boy, I know that. Gary Smalley, by the way, was probably the other highest otter I've ever known. And anybody that knew Gary, holy mackerel, he could become unfocused. When I used to shoot shows with Gary, and keeping him focused on what we have to get done as a lion, that was always a challenge. There was a real yin and a yang there. Now, good news is lions usually win the yin. Okay, greatest needs. The otter needs social activities, recognition, activities that are fun, and freedom from details. Okay, you want to lose an otter? Start going deep into detail. Now they can learn details. One of my sons is working on his MBA right now, and he's being forced to, and he's loving it, but he's learning the skill sets that allow for organization and detail, and he's becoming good at it. But it's a learned behavior versus a natural inclination. What the otter desires: prestige, friendly relationships, opportunity to help and motivate others, and opportunity to verbally share their ideas. Ryan was telling me yesterday about a boss that he had, and he never felt the freedom to share his ideas, because as soon as he would start sharing, that person would either quickly put it aside or improve on it as if it's their idea, and he just felt weighed down, heavily weighed down by that. And they need the freedom, really need the freedom to verbally share their ideas. When he got a new boss, it was just the opposite. The boss gave him all the leeway he needed, and guess what? That made him want the boss's direction too. So it's for a much better relationship because he's not squelched. And he has taken the initiative, and oh my, it's just been amazing to watch. Well, in our next video, we're going to look at the G's.